Hello and welcome, Dragon Warrior Randomizer fans, to the second full day of our summer tournament action here 2022. We have a matchup today between Juef and Vennicus, both players new to our summer tournament. I am Aaron TU2, and with me today on comms is Lavcan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Wonderful to be here at the start of another surely to be exciting Dragon Warrior Randomizer season. Looking, those stats are looking kind of interesting there, Aaron. What do you make of those starting stats?
Well, they shouldn't have any trouble running away from anything in the beginning zone, so if you see something that 11 strength can't handle, like maybe a Scorpion, you can get away. Stop Spell has some good utility. It's not going to... It might win them a fight or two, but it just depends on how weird the enemies at the start are.
Yeah, and taking a look at some notes that I have here, so they are sitting on 11 attack power, so they'll have no problem taking out Slimes. Looks like they're doing 2 to 4 to Drakies. Ghosts, it kind of depends on what they do. Magicians, you can plink down a Magician if you really want to, but hopefully they won't be forced to do that.
They do have guaranteed damage on a Magidraki, but they that one could take a while. Plus, their defense isn't quite high enough yet to defense break them. If it was, that would probably be an interesting, albeit long, fight.
Yep, either way, they have plenty of options available to them in Zone 1, so like I said, hopefully it's a little bit friendly. Hopefully they don't have to plink red and blue slimes for too long.
Yes, hopefully, and my fingers may or may not be crossed that they're not starting in the middle of a swamp or on a very, very small island with only swamp to go through, you know, swamp cave. Those things can always be fun.
Well, we already know what chat's hoping for.
Fun, I'm assuming.
Fun in the form of swamps and lots of red dragons and DL2 breath.
Alrighty, and here we go. Vennicus has started. We assume we'll see Juef here in just a moment. There we go. Getting those instructions from the king. This is always the same. I could try saying them really fast, but I haven't decided to do that one yet. But we see. We have a cursed belt and a death necklace.
Ooh. Okay, this could open up some potential starting strategies here. Obviously, the Curse Belt's going to give us a little bit of information. At least one of the 3 search spots in Cole, the Overworld or Hawksness, will have some sort of useful item. And then that Death Necklace could potentially be sold for 1,200 gold to give our runners a kickstart if they so choose.
Right, and we do see a cave right at the beginning, although it looks like it's in Zone 1, so... Oh no, Juef gets there just fine, and let's see what we got.
We're not moving very far at the start. I believe this is Mountain Cave, although the direction that Juef is walking, it could also be Tablet. I'm not 100% sure. Mike seems confident that it's Tablet.
Yeah, Tablet, which is scary. If you don't know what you're doing, you can actually get, like, permanently stuck in Tablet Cave in the dark. And it looks like Juef has made it back to the entrance. And I think he's trying to decide exactly what he wants to do here.
Meanwhile, I mentioned that it was possible to potentially plink down a Magician, and that is exactly what Vennicus has done. 23 power. I believe I saw 527 after that. Oh my goodness.
Plenty of strength right off the bat here. You should be able to take out anything in Zone 0. Probably pretty good odds to take out anything in Zone 1 and 2. And Vennicus, however, makes it to the 2nd floor now.
Vennicus went from plinking down Magicians to one-shotting a Magician. My goodness, one punch man over here.
So we're going to see quite the experience difference by the time Juef gets out of here, which he finds a fairy water for his efforts. Somewhat disappointing.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. The fairy water is probably not going to be too useful, and level 3 very underwhelming. I believe I saw 1029 or something like that.
Yeah, had to compensate for all of the stats from the last level, I guess.
Absolutely, and taking advantage of these mountain tiles in Zone 1 here is Vennicus going to take down a Poltergeist. And, I mean, 3 kills in 3 levels here. Good start. What? What is this?
All sorts of agility. That's quite a bit of defense. If he had Repel going, he wouldn't be fighting anything right now.
Juef taking the strategy of going, I believe he went south into the, or no, he went north into the desert tiles, so trying to skirt that. Oh, he thought he might have been in zone 0 or zone 1, but unfortunately he painted that corner, manages to get away from the Star Wyvern. Gonna do a little bit more exploration here.
Yeah, it looked like a death walk, like just I'm gonna go until I die since I already took those hits, but unfortunately still sitting at level 1, not gonna see all the fun stats that Vennicus has had just yet.
Yeah, these stats are ramping up real fast already here. 55 agility. I mean, I feel like chat can throw their own opinion out there, but the meta seems to have kind of gotten to a place where people want to have about 40 agility before they go out on the map, and we have blown way past that as Vennicus already on level 5, picking up that sleep spell and a few decent stats.
Sleep is nice, but warlocks are slightly resistant to sleep, and it wasn't enough to avoid the fiery death from Smith.
So first death here, I believe, for Vennicus. Gonna go ahead and send him back to start, and I would say this might be the time that you really want to start getting out on the map again, taking advantage of that agility. I mean, there's quite a bit of things that you're already defense breaking there, even just, kind of cruising around in your birthday suit. The HP there is looking pretty decent as well. Vennicus not quite sure yet whether or not he wants to go out on the map or try to fight. Oh, gonna take advantage of the sleep spell on this Wyvern. I like this play.
This could be huge. He's got enough attack power to do a bit of damage. Wyvern with hurt? Maybe stop spell instead of sleep. That probably has better odds, but whatever's working.
Yeah, the sleep spell does have some pretty decent utility here. Maybe wants to take a look at the stop spell. I mean, again, once you land it, it's permanent. Nope, gonna go ahead and stay with the sleep. I want to say one more swing should do it here. I don't know their max HP off the top of my head. Chat calling for both, but the solution is always just a crit.
Yeah, I think he already had the damage inside of the Wyvern's death range, but that's something that, as a newer player, you might not have on the top of your head.
Community veteran Tilo here in chat asking what he missed, and what you missed is yes, lots of agility, lots of power already, and more power coming in. The things are looking pretty jetty already.
Yeah, you say community veteran, I say defending champion. Tilo has graced us with our presence today.
My apologies, Sir Tilo. Alrighty, Vennicus now making his way through what we already know is Tablet Cave. We also know that there is fairy water at the bottom here. Very bold runners here. I personally have never been fond of the idea of doing Tablet in the dark, because as you said before, no encounters means that if you get stuck, you're hitting the reset button.
Although I think, let me backtrack that. Both of our players probably are making use of some of the maps that are publicly available to people, because when you have those, you have a pretty good idea where you are. It's still dangerous and it's a little slow, but hey, he's already got outside. Might as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, with that outside spell in your back pocket, you got pretty much nothing to worry about. And yeah, shoutouts to actually, I don't remember who it was. A while ago, someone put together a series of maps for all the towns and dungeons that show where the possible chest locations are for chest shuffle. So yes, as long as you have that in your back pocket, you should be good to go.
Yes, that was the esteemable Chadbert, although I believe he was using maps that were created by some Canuck. So it was a cooperative effort. Unfortunately, neither of them are in a tournament, but we do appreciate them nonetheless.
Absolutely. Shoutouts to both of them for putting those resources together. Mr. Slime and I have made great use of them in our co-op adventures.
Chat pointing out that a winning strategy is to possibly just never go in the Tablet Cave, and that is a consideration, because it does take some time to go down there. If you feel like you don't need it, it could pay off, but you could also feel real dumb.
Absolutely. I don't remember the exact numbers. I know Game Boy F9 worked it out at some point. I want to say it's like 45 seconds in and out if you don't have outside, and it's like 20 if you do. So if you got outside, then it's a decently short check, but always a tough decision to make.
Now, and after that initial dearth of experience on Juef's side, he started to pick it up a little bit, fighting in, I think, is this the zone just south of Pentagel? It looks like it's still zone 1 or 2.
It looks like he's maybe southwest. I've been paying a little bit more attention to Vennicus here, but yeah, either way, he is at least acquiring the stats that Vennicus has, even if he's a little bit down in experience. And this, by the way, is really going to be a test of something that I talked a little bit about last season, which is your comfortability and your ability to look at a monster and, you know, you're level 6, but Vennicus already has taken out a couple of wyverns here with very clever strategies, making use of that sleep spell, making, you know, he's got that stop spell there as another option. And as you get out there on that map, I mean, your level might be low, but you do need to have an idea of what you can and can't potentially fight. So it'll be interesting to see how Juef does in that regard as well.
Well, he's doing pretty good sleep strats here on the Droll Magi. He takes quite a few hits. Droll Magis have kind of a sneaky amount of defense compared to what you would expect, and hit points. Like, they're technically right below a Wyvern, but have more hit points and more defense than they do. But sleep is fairly effective, it works, and he takes one out, which catches up quite a bit.
Absolutely, and yeah, it looks like both of our runners taking advantage of the swamp tiles near starts. If you're running a little bit low on resources, obviously we have no access to healing just yet, so just gonna go ahead and take that Death Warp. And who turned Big Swamp on?
Well, the swamp, there's I think a required amount of swamp, like a union mandated swamp amount, and I think we just happened to have it all near Tantagel today.
I think we might have actually borrowed some from Zelda 2 Randomizer as well.
Thanks, Dig Shake.
Ooh, first town sighting here on juef17. I'm not sure exactly. Again, I want to say this might be southeast of start, like you had to wrap around a little bit. But unsure yet, but this could be huge for Juef if this is keys. It's the one thing that could potentially put him in the driver's seat.
Did he just make the town with 2 hit points left? I think that's all he has left.
Not even close. So unfortunately, Breckinar, you're not going to be of huge value here. He could, again, choose to... I mean, you want to get rid of that Cursed Belt if there's something nice here to pick up. And again, maybe even wanting to consider getting rid of that Death Necklace to potentially pick up that Broadsword. I think the best play here would maybe be to sell the Cursed Belt and get that Chainmail, but go ahead and get a settle for the Small Shield there and just make his way.
I have a feeling he's one to get some torches too. I don't think he's probably feeling super confident in the dark walking right now, but we'll see. That could be a great question to ask him at the end, just where that confidence level is, because that's not the way you want to start out a seed. But nope, not worried about those. Just going straight back.
I want to say he picked up 1 Urban, 1 Torch, but maybe forgot to sell the Cursed Belt. That's a question to ask later if he just wanted to hold on to that for another time, deciding maybe there wasn't anything worth purchasing at this point.
And we have been seeing Juef make very good use of that spell Sleep, and that cast on the Star Wyvern is a little bit... that's something that maybe a newer player might not be thinking about, because you assume all the late-level monsters are immune to sleep, but Star Wyverns only have 50% protection. I think werewolves are kind of in the same area, green dragons too, so unfortunately not much he's going to be able to do against the red dragon.
Absolutely, yeah, red dragons, fun police making their presence known. And yeah, wyverns are kind of sitting there in that kind of middle tier of monster, and yeah, all the wyverns are fairly susceptible to sleep. So yeah, it's all the data is out there. Again, I'm drawing a blank on a lot of names here. We do have that famous chart that you can plug your stats into and get an idea of what your Dragon Lord fight's going to look like, and that's got all the sleep information that you could need. So I suspect both of our runners have been making use of that data that's out there.
Yeah, and for those who are not familiar with our runners, just my background with him, as far as I know, Juef has been doing a lot of pickup races this year. I think he's pretty regular at nights. I'd say 1 or 2 races a week, so he has a lot of experience under his belt as far as that goes. But I think this is his first tournament of any sort with Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Vennicus, on the other hand, hasn't been doing a lot of the pickup races, but was in Winter League and has some experience along those lines. But this is his first time in Standard, so we'll see if the lack of crazy flags will benefit him.
Absolutely, it is always interesting. I think that we, people have fun in that Winter League, but we do kind of, to some degree, more or less look at the standard flags as kind of proving ground. As Vennicus now finding Brecconary and kind of evening up the exploration between the two runners, and now he's going to have a choice. Do you want to maybe take the time to sell that cursed belt, pick yourself something nice, or just settle for the small shield and mosey on out of here?
Now, I noticed neither of them bought any clothes. I guess they just want to be wandering around naked in the swamp.
Yeah, I know for a while there was a bit of a debate about whether or not going to the item shop in Brecconary is worth it because it is the furthest away from starts or from the entrance possible. So maybe both of our runners just saying it's not quite worth their time and just make the one purchase and just move on to find another town.
If they have that on their radar, then that's an awesome thinking. That's not something as a beginner you would think about. So, we said beginner, and we already see that Juef does have a win in this tournament already under his belt. So,
absolutely. Alrighty, Vennicus now checking his HP, making sure. Yep, 2 HP, not even close. And there we go. Vennicus is now going to be the first to get keys. He does have money for 1.
Is he gonna? If he goes to the inn first, he will not have money for the key. So,
yeah, unfortunately, no item shop here in Rimmildar, so can't get rid of that cursed belt in order to buy himself a key. Does seem to be aware that he doesn't quite have enough money though, so just gonna go ahead and put that knowledge. Just tuck that away for a little bit. Oh, he's gonna look for money. Ooh, I like this.
And this would be a point where you would just gladly take Druins, and even though these enemies don't seem terribly difficult, just get what you can. He's already got enough for 1 key, probably aiming for 2 before he dips back in.
Yeah, with this enemy set, I think 2 is about what you want to look for. And then maybe just go ahead and take that Death Warp, and then you can go check the treasury back at home. Probably not going to want to spend the key here in Rimmildar. You can always pick up more keys, especially if there's gold back at home. You can just come back with your full complement.
Yeah, the Druin is somewhat notorious for being worse than the Scorpion in basically every single fashion, having more hit points, having more strength, having more agility, but then also having less experience and gold. But, you'll take him at this point. Hey, a Warlock is pretty decent money. That's almost a key in and of itself. You might try for 3 or 4 now.
Absolutely.
And yes, this is the Scorpion group, or as I like to put it, the Scorpion division. That sounds more menacing.
DH-Some, I don't know if you know this, but I believe that Dragon Warrior canonically takes place before Legend of Zelda, so sailing hasn't been invented yet. We're still researching that. We need a little bit more of those lab points.
Yes, we need Link to rediscover the lost technology of the raft.
I am officially lost here with all the randomizer references that are being thrown around in chat. It looks like Vennicus is going for the full complement now. Wants to get that Rimmildar check out of the way. Gonna go ahead and pick himself up a level in the process.
Yeah, with another reasonable set of stats. The spells, basically we're looking at like a status effect mage character build right now. Got plenty of strength and agility, looking good. Weak on hit points because the game's gotta nerf you somehow. But the spells are all, status effect stuff. No outright damage or healing. So, it's still, you know, you're level 8, you got a bunch of stats, but what do you want to do right now? Because you can't get very far before you die.
Absolutely. And all right, so 4 keys here, and that is going to enable Vennicus to go ahead and pick up this chest here in Rumeldar, and then this is where I imagine he's going to want to take that Death Warp and head back, and you might not be able to get very far on the map, but you still got a lot of checks that you can make. Ooh, Fighter's Ring is a nice pickup.
Yes, the Fighter's Ring gives you a permanent 0.5 damage at the max. I think it's what, 0.25 to 0.5, so it's more like 0.375.
Yeah, on average, it's probably going to be right around there. And yeah, you can slip that on and get that permanent attack power increase, and then go ahead and sell it or drop it or spin it around for a Death Warp, whatever you please.
And responding to chat, no, I don't believe he did check the room shop. I thought that was what he went back in for, and then I forgot about the Remolder lottery down there.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. If there's any decent weapons there, maybe would have wanted to make a note of that for a potential gold grind. But a little bit more focused on the free stuff that could be had here. And again, if we do have gold here in this treasury, we can go ahead and get that full complement of keys in the back.
Yeah, talking about the save in there, I think my favorite time to save in this sort of check is when you go all the way down to the basement, find its tablet, get to the final thing, and it's like a fairy water or something, and then you can just reset and get completely out.
Absolutely, yeah. Always a good idea to try to save yourself some time when and where you can. Does pick up quite a bit of money for himself here. We did have 2 gold chests, and I believe nothing else of any particular consequence there in that treasury. So we do potentially have that gold grind available just to see what is waiting in that basement.
Yeah, we haven't seen much yet, so this could be anything, and it is dark.
Looks like we have Swamp South.
Now he does have outside, so he could warp right through here and not have to face the red dragon, but unfortunately... oh, he got away. Awesome.
Oh, I don't think he knows about the outside tech. That's a little bit unfortunate, but we'll definitely be able to pick that up on the vodcast, or on the watching the VOD back. And just for in case anybody doesn't know, anytime you enter Swamp South, if you cast outside, it will always take you outside the north entrance, so you can save yourself a trip there. Oh
no! He almost got there. But this might not be bad. Let's see, if he goes right back through here, decides to go get those gold chests again, and does think about that outside, or just happens to get through, might get to that town with some reasonable money.
Chat correcting me. If Search Shuffle is on, then it'll take you back to where you came from. That I did not know. But it looks like he's going to go right back. Let's see if he does the outside this time. Either way, hopefully can make it to that town. As we know at this point that town should be fairly useful, unless it happens to be Hawksness. I guess that's the one exception.
Juef using the herb to make it to this town. Was this the one we saw earlier, Breck, or is this something else?
I believe this is Rumeldar. Juef is going to get himself. Or no, I'm sorry, he did run into Breckenary again. Both Breckenary and Rumeldar were in Swamp, so I wasn't sure myself.
It looks like he's kind of just grinding at this point. The experience is basically tied right now. Vennicus having a slight lead with exploration, having that key access, which means like potentially from here we'd expect a little bit better growth, but we just haven't seen it yet.
And Vennicus abandoning the Swamp Cave place. So again, a little bit unfortunate here. And I just want to make sure that we're very clear here that in standard flags, outside will take you to the north side of Swamp Cave. So an important thing to remember for the future. But eventually we will be making it to that town. But gonna go ahead and just keep exploring the main continent for now.
Yeah, he seemed to like this zone over here, and Juef selling the Death Necklace. That is a major play. Very interesting at this point. He must feel like he really needs that broadsword to do anything.
Tilo, to answer a question here, watching Vennicus and Juef talk a little bit in the racetime.gg room, I believe Vennicus said that the only thing he's done is the Winter League, and he noted that he came in last place, and his goal is to not come in last place this year. So I think he's got a good shot.
And this is a new town on Vennicus' side. Gets away from another red dragon that seems really good, but he does have 71 agility, so it's something around 40% odds. And finds Foxness, which, I don't know. He has sleep, so there's always hope with sleep that you get a green dragon here.
Yeah, a green dragon or maybe a stone man. You could try to punch that thing down. Blue dragon's going to be tough. Doesn't want to fish for any potential spells. Make it stop spell. Just going to go ahead and note that and take off. However, that is going to raise the value of that town that's on the other side, because that leaves Cole with a free item, Garanham with a bunch of free potential checks because he has keys, and of course Caitlin, which has worthless.
Does he make it back to Remolder? Yes, he can. Nice. Except, I think he's just going to die off in the swamp somewhere.
Oh, yes, I did mean to mention this before. Both of our runners using a unique set of custom sprites here. Juef running the male wizard from Dragon Warrior 3, and Vennicus running Dark Knight Cecil from Final Fantasy 4.
And on that note, Juef has found Remolder. He has his keys. I didn't see how many he bought, but I think he's good enough to clear this door and still have some afterwards. So he picked up a broadsword selling the death necklace. Now he has the fighter's ring. Now he has key access. He still has one key, good. But he's probably going to have to just take a walk out of town. But maybe we'll see the Remolder shop. Nope. Maybe. There we go. Yay.
Alrighty, let's see if we have any nice gold grind items here. We do. There is full plate and silver shield. That is going to be a wonderful thing to note here once Juef figures out that there is that gold grind available. Now, we have not seen either Mountain or the Grave yet, which is kind of what we need to set up that gold grind. But again, having that information available to you is very, very powerful.
And I have to appreciate DH Tom in chat for telling us all how these upgrades work.
Aaron, I think we're going to have to get rid of you.
Sorry, it had to be done. So, Juef clears the treasury, but I think he's out of keys. So I think he just realized that too, and reset the game. Did he save it? He had to.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I'm not sure exactly where he reset back to. If he...
Now, he had just saved it. Like, he only had the one key. Now, I think he's going to check the basement to see if he can get some more gold. I think he either thought he had more or was just hoping there was one in the treasury.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the fact that he only had one key, and now is going to see that this is Swamp South. Going to also go ahead and walk through. Let's see if we can dodge the fun police here.
First attempt is a no. Second attempt is a hard no.
So a little unfortunate here is both Juef and Vennicus may choose to abandon that second continent for quite some time. It'd be interesting to see when they go back there and if one of them does decide to use that outside spell. Okay, Juef going right back. Maybe we'll change his strategy up a little bit here. Whoever gets to that town first is going to potentially have a real big lead.
Unless, well, if it's Grinham for Juef, that's not going to do much of anything since he lost all of his keys. And hey, he did it outside, straight through, sees the town. We're hoping for Cole, and we got Cole!
Oh, okay, so 2 out of 3 chance there's something really good here. Unfortunately, it is just Erdrick's Debates. The always like to see that air trick on your screen. You see that token, you say, "Aww."
So at this point, we're still wondering if Juef is going to reset because he lost the key for the token, which he could just get back at any point.
That is an observation, a good observation to make there, as we'll have to, if he doesn't reset, we'll have to make that trip back to Rimbledar at some point. However, with this cave here, I believe this has to be either, oh no, okay, this is, there were several options available. Maybe there's key here?
Just an herb. So we've seen the Erdrick's token and Erdrick's herb, and now this is grave, or is it grave? Let's see what we got. Nope, that's looking like mountain. He's trying to go up and down, and he can't go anywhere.
Yeah, and already just masterfully making his way through here, looking like Nescard with this precision. And this also has potential to be quite big, because this is, again, where you can set yourself up for that gold grind. You know that Silver Shield's waiting there in Rimbledar, and he needs more keys. And some stats going on over there on Vennicus' side as he hits level 9.
Yeah, a fairly healthy amount of MP. I believe that was over 30. Got the heal spell, which is going to be huge for actually getting around, but he's going to sit on this grind, which has been pretty good, honestly. He might be able to take out a Star Wyvern right now if he's fully healed.
Yeah, there is potential there to do that damage racing, but not quite feeling up to it just yet. Gonna keep going here. Next level at 1500 if memory serves, so deciding that the zone is decent enough. I'd be curious to ask him later what it is he's looking for here. Maybe looking for heal more, maybe looking for a little bit more HP.
So what have we seen out of Mountain? I saw the Dragon Scale, I saw a belt, I see gold, I missed the last chest. Or never mind, that was the 4th chest. So now we're going to check for the 5th.
I was paying a little bit too much attention to Vennicus' stats and his grind option here, so far, like, we haven't seen anything of particular consequence in Mountain Cave, but again, this will set up that gold grind potential. We'll just have to see what decisions Juef makes from here.
Which again, I don't think he has a key, so he's not going to be able to do much even if he gets through this, because unless this last item is a key, which is probably what he's hoping for, you know, armor, sword, or a key.
Oh, absolutely, that's right. I keep assuming that he has keys. He does not. So yeah, unless this last one's a key, he's going to be out for gold grinds.
And really good timing for that level. Now he's got the heal spell, which gives him a little bit more survivability. And the enemies in this zone have been very good for fighting. That broadsword is really just helping him to cut down this stuff. Again, he probably could fight the Star Wyvern without sleep, actually, if he gets the first attack and he's fully healed.
Yeah, unfortunately not having too much luck here. And chat confirming that we have now found all 3 of the cursed belts. So we do know that something important is waiting out there on that world map. We are going to need to find and talk to that old man. Oh no! Making the same mental mistake here.
And no chat, we have not found Cantlin, we have not found Grinham. We're missing both of the turn-in caves, and we have yet to see Grave. I think... Oh, and also Sharlock is there somewhere.
So Juef now, I have to imagine, is going to be looking for Rimbledar again to go ahead and pick up those keys, and we'll probably have to wait until Grave to make that gold grind play.
I mean, if it's in his head, he might go right back to it. Again, he did sell the death necklace for that sword. Now, at 50 hit points, that doesn't feel like a bad deal, but the way the curves are in this game, you could get 70 hit points at level 11.
Absolutely, yeah. I can never quite know if it's going to be a game changer, but you kind of want to trust the curve a little bit. If you're going to hedge your bets on anything, just assume that the HP is going to stay pretty low for a while. So yeah, if you wanted to, could potentially go back into that mountain cave. Wouldn't take too long to set up that grind. Just need to grab 3 chests and get out. But so far, just choosing to keep the exploration up.
So he is just about to find Hawksness on his end. He's going in very weak, although I guess he's got the heal spell. Maybe he's forgot that he has it, that he's not using it. But nope, now he remembered. Yeah, casting heal is such a time loss, though. It's so slow. Alright, Vennicus on his way back through Swamp Cave. Juef about to Hawksness. He's going to get the, I don't know, I wouldn't call it bad news, but you see a blue dragon, you're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough. Also, Bob Pineapple, when your max HP is 57, heal might as well be heal more. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Now, Vennicus making it to Cole, getting the token, feeling, I don't know how you feel about getting the token. Be like, well, it's a thing I needed, so there we go.
It'll keep her from getting booted out of Jerk Cave, I do believe. Aside from that, though, Juef did take a shot at potentially 3-shotting that blue dragon. Did not work out for him, unfortunately. Could have also been fishing for a crit. And immediately after that Death Warp, going back to the second continent, which I don't blame him. It seems at this point like they have the first continent all mapped out already.
Yeah, and just to kind of put it in perspective, the chance to 3-shot a blue dragon with the strength he has is probably, without a crit, is somewhere around 1%. But he might have been hoping to see like a hurt spell or something too, because I don't think he's had a lot of experience with them. But yeah, he's got keys. I think he's going to go right back into Mountain to try to get that gold grind. Again, if you're willing to sell the Death Necklace, you're probably willing to double up on a cave just to get that gear.
Yeah, it is. I like the play, and of course the play is even better in the situation where Juef has information that Vennicus does not. And of course, taking maximum advantage on top of the agility that they already have. That's Silver Shield's going to give I want to say, I think it's a 15 defense boost over the small shield, and absolutely nothing to sneeze at this late game. The defense breaking a lot of things in Charlock.
Yeah, I think Vennicus picked up a chainmail too, unless I misread that when he was in Cole. So that's, yeah, that extra defense will help a little bit in here. And we're seeing Juef, he's going straight for the final chest. I don't think what was the final chest even?
He may have missed it when he death warped, so it looks like he wants to get that first and then move on from there.
Okay, well, he did pick up the herb. We'll see. He's not outsiding out, so he must be thinking about that sort of grind anyway. I don't know. Maybe it really hurts to leave something in Mountain because it feels like it's so early to get to.
Absolutely, and it's not terribly. It didn't take terribly long time to get there. You just go to the basement, head outside, and walk a screen west, and you're basically there. And so now with this chest picked up, you can just go ahead and pick up the twin chest here at the top and then look for something to death warp on.
Yeah, you can never have enough cursed belts.
Silly Dabbit, I am glad that you are enjoying yourself. We've had a lot of people coming into the community through Nescard, of course, been promoting the ever-loving heck out of this randomizer, and we are always welcoming of new faces to this community. Alrighty, so now at this point, Juef just needs to find something that can kill him, and that might be a little bit difficult. Does have that dragon skill to use, I believe.
Well, this zone is so good. I don't know that you even care to die. Just keep killing all this stuff. It's great. You know, Gold Grind's not going anywhere. But he did go down to the first floor, and that, yeah, he's looking for that red dragon. But, you know, I'll still fight a druid.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, next level, I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 2100, maybe 2050, something like that. Not too far away.
Yes, the big old 2175. Because we have so many weird denominations of 25 at the end of things in the way this works.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we have the vanilla experience cut down to a third, so you do get some interesting numbers as a result of that.
If anyone is curious, this is the first summer tournament we've done with version 3.0. I think we're actually 3.0.2. There were a few changes going in from version 2 to version 3 that will be noticeable. And here's Juef's getting his Death Warp from the Red Dragon. But those, the curve has been mildly altered, but it's mostly the exact same as the end of version 2 as far as experience goes. I think our big changes are on rewards for Red Dragons and Golems and Goldmen.
Alrighty, Vennicus finding, it looks like it's going to end, and it doesn't end, it just keeps going and going and going, and now Vennicus is going to be the first to find whatever town this is, which again, I believe all we have left is Garenham and Cantlin, but no, the Fun Police claim yet another victim. This is unfortunate. This is twice now that Vennicus has died here steps away from the town.
Yeah, it's very much a tale of completely different attitudes right now. Juef has been really focused on the shops and getting money, and Vennicus has been ignoring most equipment at all. Still doesn't have a weapon, and bought the chain and coal probably because it was the highest value thing that was there. But I doubt he even really cared. Looks like he's going to go right back.
I mean, Vennicus clearly isn't worried about a sword because he's packing a pair of guns.
And you would think with 80 agility, he's fairly safe, but man, Red Dragons are everywhere in this seed. If we did not have the agility that we do, this could be a really ugly thing.
Chat noting that apparently Cole had pretty much all the GG items there, and I do see Juef going well beyond. I was expecting him to maybe just go to Rimmildar and pick up that full plate and silver shield, but going for the whole thing here.
Well, if you're gonna do the gold grind, you might as well just do the whole thing. Let's see, and we're gonna go for the safety save. Absolutely have to do that. Even though it's a pretty safe walk once you outside through to Cole, assuming that is where he's going.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, you never want to take too many chances there. I want to say we saw Vennicus die to a blue dragon in the few steps between the cave and Cole. So yeah, always want to be safe as possible. But heading back to Rimmildar first, it looks like.
Now, did he check the shop in Cole? We saw that Vennicus did, but I don't even remember what Juef did down there.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I assume that he had seen it, given the fact that he went for all that money now. But is just going to go ahead and just pick up that silver shield and full plate armor, and it's going to be pretty set. And up to a G noting that Vennicus has the lead in experience with no weapon. If you notice that they've had pretty much gigantic strength the entire time. They started off with 11, got 26 more at level 2, and I mean, it's just been exploding past that. I mean, we might, oh boy, we could maybe even forego Erdrick's sword at this point. But yeah, Vennicus has been pretty dedicated grinding, while Juef has been prioritizing exploration for the most part.
So we saw Juef go and get the silver and the full armor. So yeah, if Cole had the other stuff, he missed it. That could hurt a little bit. He's not going to be able to get the full Monty anymore with what he has. But you know, the difference between the full plate and the magic armor is somewhat middling. You usually don't go out of your way for one if you already have the other.
Absolutely, yeah. The expense isn't quite worth it in Randomizer. But Vennicus, now finding Garinham, did manage to make it back to that town. Is going to see the potential options there and will opt for that half-plate armor. Again, every little bit of defense that you can get is going to be useful. I imagine he's going to maybe sell a few things here, hasn't done so already, and then we're going to go see what's in the back.
Yeah, very interesting, just full-on armor build right now for Vennicus, which you would normally see with like a hurt more sort of spell. Then you'd really focus on the armor, but he's just been, I think, taking whatever the highest value thing he can get out of the shops are. And it seems like, with the exception of the axe and the sword in those 1 pounds, it's just been armor every time.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where, again, by taking advantage of that massive stride, and there's the sword! Who needs a weapon?
Yes, the gambit is paid off, and now the difference between the two, the silver is going to be a constant difference. There's no way making that up. But with that agility, as high as it is, it's probably not going to hurt terribly at the Dragon Lord not having it.
No, absolutely not. We do see, of course, on Juef's side, that defense power is in the green. So not going to need to worry too much about taking too much damage from the Dragon Lord's physical attacks. And Vennicus finds the Heart-Turning Cave in the back of Garinham, but does not have the harp yet, so we'll just need to make a mental note.
Yeah, there's been a big stretch of seeds with tons of attack recently, that at least I've been around. That 5th tournament qualifier, which I think is what Arm Pulley is referencing in chat, was ridiculous. Then we had the race that was before the tournament reveal on Sunday, which was ridiculous, and now we have this one, 95 strength at level 11.
Yeah, both runners now faced with an interesting decision as to whether or not you want to be using Repel on the overworld, with your defense being as high as it is, your defense breaking a lot of things. It's going to make your map exploration incredibly efficient, but your XP gain over time is going to fall off a little bit here.
So it looks like Cantling is here on the second continent too. After getting that flame sword, Juef has now found his way over here, whereas Vennicus has found a dead end. We'll see what's on the cords. We know something has to be there, at least, because we found the whole set of cursed belts, and this is the only search that we don't have yet.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking for that, either the armor, the stones, or the harp. 38 leagues north and 29 leagues east. I want to say that that's got to put it on the second continent. I don't think they can go far enough north.
I will trust your judgment on that. I am terrible at following maps when I'm doing commentary.
Oh, absolutely. No, the same here. I'm kind of ballparking it. But again, given the fact that pretty much all the towns they had not found yet are on the second continent, I do believe that they have pretty much covered that first continent. Not sure if either of these runners draw maps. It'd be interesting to ask them that later. Yeah, and up to G astutely noting that it's very unclear who is actually ahead here. Both players have different knowledge than the other, and have taken advantage of some of that information. Yeah, it's unclear. I mean, this is a very interesting race. The runners not in lockstep, but not clearly ahead either.
And Vennicus back in that same grind area he was before. Very interesting. It has been, very worthwhile for an overworld zone, but he is popping off on the attack power now. Obviously, it lets him kill the Star Wyvern, but you might be thinking about something else at this point. Again, not having heal more and having, 73 hit points is not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it doesn't feel super great either. Could potentially go and damage race that Blue Dragon and Hoxus to see what's there, or could check the Spike Tile and Swamp Cave. I'm not sure. If my intuition is correct and you have to go to that second continent, I don't think you can see it from anywhere to try to make that visual count. I think we are going to want to grab that princess at some point.
Yeah, and this would be my general comment right now, is that with the exception of hit points, that stat's good enough to beat the Dragon Lord right now. Maybe, I don't know how much you would prioritize grinding at this point. And I think Juef just found our last two things, Grave and Sherlock.
Yeah, we definitely saw the big C, And facing down, I don't know the down-facing caves off the top of my head. I think it's only Swamp North and Grave.
I always forget the facing thing, but usually because I'm holding a button as soon as I get in there, trying to pause buffer it to get as much done. But something has to be in Grave. I think we found... Well, no, I guess that's not true. But hey, we found the stone, so that is one thing. That means that the remaining search spots that we haven't seen, both Hawksness and the Overworld, likely one of them has armor.
Yeah, likely one of them has armor, although Armor and Charlotte could still be alive here if we don't find it here, because it could be the Fairy Flute on one of those search spots.
True. So we are missing Harp, Flute, and Armor. I would feel pretty good about the odds, but whoa. Okay, there we go. I think it's maybe a little over caffeinated there.
So yeah, we got these two chests left, and indeed, although Juef has not found Garenham yet, we do know that at least the viewers and those of us in the commentary booth here do know that is pretty much every chest outside of Charlotte accounted for.
Right, with our universal collective knowledge, this is where we are at. Obviously, the players only know what they've seen, but ooh, red slimes! This grind is giving me the willies.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty wild strategy here. Again, curious what Vennicus is looking for. Maybe looking for that Heal More spell. Is going to go ahead and pick up a level here. Let's see if he gets it.
And found Hurt More, which is still good. Would be a lot more useful if you already didn't have 140 attack power. Let's see, Grave 5 is the Flute, so we know there's nothing in Charlock now. Everything is in the overworld spots that needs to be found, plus Garenham for Juef. Which means that if Vennicus does Grave last, he will probably not deep dive it.
Absolutely, yeah. If you manage to find Caitlin, and one thing I do want to note here too is I wasn't paying a close attention to Juef's pathing here, but Garenham was not easy to find. You had to persist through a couple of like weird peninsula type things that it looks like they could dead end at any second. You just kind of have to keep pushing forward to find Garenham. Meanwhile, Caitlin, I believe, like southwest of that cave. So both runners are going to have to pick some unique directions here in order to find all the things to get ready for that eventual Charlock dive.
Yeah, hitting up Hawksness, he's hitting hard enough. If it lands, he's got it, and he's got it. Blue Dragon is down 180 experience, and we have the Harp, which means armor is on those cords.
Yeah, so now it's going to come down to search efficiency here. Vennicus again has not found the coordinates yet. Does not know how hard they're going to be to search. Doesn't know that he's again most likely going to need to pick up that princess in order to find that armor. So again, we find our runners with with opposite sets of information here. Vennicus knows he's already got that harp. He knows where to turn it in at, so could do that as well. And really, really unclear who is going to be in the lead here until we get all those items together. This is pretty exciting.
And Vennicus just casually taking out a red dragon with 75 max hit points. That is hilarious.
And yeah, chat noting, where the heck are all the metal slimes at? I mean, Vennicus is already at the point where he could one-shot them if he can find them.
So yeah, what is the path now? Does Vennicus... He has to go back through, right? Because I don't think there's anything left on this first continent, unless he hasn't fully explored it yet. But I think everything's on second, so until he gets back to Tantagel, it's just a fleeting time at this point.
Absolutely, which is a little bit unfortunate, and probably may lend itself to not mapping, or yeah, maybe still trying to paint those coast edges of the map. So we kind of want to hope that he runs on a map sooner rather than later, so that he can go ahead and start making progress on that second continent.
in chat pointing out the spike in Swamp is an Axe Knight, which is absolutely what you want to see. Especially if you're Vennicus. If he gets in there, he could just pretty much have his way with that thing with Hurt more. However, Juef has to get a little bit lucky with the rolls, but he's about to get level up right now, and I think that will make those concerns melt away pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Still one level away from that Hurt More spell, so he's going to need to keep punching those Axe Knights down, but that is great news for the potential for an endgame grind. What is not likely here, although we do need a little bit more HP, it looks like Juef is going to go ahead and just start getting some experience now.
Yeah, our big outlying thing that's as important as the HP, or maybe even more, is we don't have heal more yet. You can kind of sleep on that sometimes, because you doesn't that often when you're just waiting on one spell to show up.
Absolutely, this is true. And Vennicus getting some information that we had seen a little bit ago. Wizards do have sleep, and they have the regular dragon breath behind it. So kind of that diet wombo, as some people in the community like to call it. Something you may want to note, however, with that 86 defense power already, Juef is already damage breaking those, so we'll not be seeing them in Sherlock.
Yeah, and he's doing a number on these Axe Knights, catching up on all the experience difference really quickly. In fact, it's probably just a matter of a couple of minutes now if he sticks to this before he's completely caught up with Vennicus.
So it looks like Vennicus is, he's happy with his exploration of second continent. Going to go ahead and move on to the opposite side. And yeah, I mean, if I kind of have the vague sense of the directions that Juef went in, he needs to go southwest out of the swamp cave in order to find the last few things he needs. They're all kind of nestled there in a bundle in that corner.
Well, I didn't see Caitlyn very well, but I seem to think it was right near the east wall of the world. And there's Healmore at 13, so it's just hit points. I think with what Vennicus is finding along the way, I don't know if it'll even bother with a grind, because he just keeps walking into great enemies, whereas Juef just gets hurt more, so he's probably not going anywhere. Gonna go till he's almost out of MP, rescue this princess, and then find what we know to be the armor.
Yeah, 84 HP is going to be a bit low, so we definitely need that. Jake Clipper in chat noting the 84 HP can't quite go fight the Dragon Lord yet, but we don't have the Rainbow Drop, so it's a moot point in any case. And I'm trying to think, if Vennicus foregoes the Silver Shield, may want to pick up a large shield at that point, which I believe is +6. And I don't know the difference between half and Erdrix off the top of my head, but I want to say he should be able to get to 86 if he just makes that one purchase.
Yeah, half to Erdrix is 12 points. That's 76. If he gets some sort of better shield, that's 82. I would assume the large shield. He's found all of the fun things that we saw a little bit ago. Grave. So he probably might, maybe deep dive Grave with what he has. I don't know. I don't know how much of an odds player he is, or if he's just, I'm here, I finally found this, I'm gonna get everything. Maybe he'd even think about doing a gold grind out of this. It's quite possible.
It is possible. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he's comfortable with taking the time to do that so late in the seed. I think that's most people's call here would be to not take the time at this late in the seed. But again, if you want to take advantage of that agility and really just try to defense break everything in Sherlock, then that's where the incentive for the Silver Shield comes in. Now, will you deep dive Grave? Having seen the Stones of Sunlight, do you want to try to just go for everything here, hoping that the armor is here? I think that might be what he wants to do. Juef now running himself out of resources, going to go ahead and grab that princess.
Yeah, Vennicus has decided to keep going, I believe, so he will be rewarded with a flute, and then after that we'll see if he outsides or he tries. I think, just based off of what he's done so far, he's probably just going to outside and keep looking around, because we know Caitlyn is somewhere over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does need to hit that outside spell, and ideally, if he's seen all the belts, there was a question in chat whether he's seen all the belts. I'm not sure if he has or not. I think he will here. I believe there is a curse belt down here. And then once you see that flute, then you know that the search spot is the play. Yeah, exactly, Jacob. So we do know from Juef that the flute is at the bottom, and then from there it's search spot territory.
Now, Juef is selling a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's going to load up on torches, probably. I don't know, he needed one set of wings, because we still don't have, on his side at least, return. Level 13 gives every last remaining spell, but Golem there, but Vennicus is able to get away. Golems are theoretically the easiest thing in Charlock to run from, but practically never seems to feel that way. Yeah, considering how easily we're gaining experience here, you have to feel pretty good about this, the progress that Juef is making right now. Even though he is still a level behind, he's already seen that Axe Knight grind, so once he gets his things, he can warp back and probably nuke out whatever levels he needs to before the end, where Vennicus is still taking a lot of fights along the way, and without the silver, without that extra defense right now, it's just kind of getting bogged down in just about everything.
Absolutely. And yeah, question in chat, is this a tough count? It's unclear, to be perfectly honest. I don't think they can go far enough north on the first continent to either get the item or to find a landmark where the item could be. However, Juef might be trying that right now. I think he's going to look to see... I'm going to go ahead and pop into this town. Oh, that's right. He had not checked Hawksness yet. We know that the harp is here, so he needs to check that off. But I do believe we're going to have to go through Swamp Cave and then just use the GPS from there.
Right, and up to NG did point out one important thing, that Juef has not found Grinham, which is completely required since that's where the harp check is behind. So it's not even that you can skip the sword, which with his attack power, he's more or less could at this point with just a few more stats. But would have to be able to do that to get the staff to finish the game.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, on Vennicus' screen, we have a Kaishin no Ichigeki for 134 damage. Who's showing who the business now, Red Dragon?
Yeah, the fact that he is managing to take out so many Red Dragons along the way really might just completely eliminate the need for any sort of grind here at the end, which could, even though the grind is going to be very quick with Axe Knights literally underneath Tantagel, it's still some advantage in Vennicus' favor. Now he just needs to find Caitlyn.
Absolutely, and I don't think he's going to find it. No, this is actually going to take him back to Garinham. Maybe he needs to circle around from here, but no, Juef would have found Garinham in that case, so maybe he needs to go east from those caves that he found earlier.
I think he's here to turn in the harp. I think that's what's in his mind, which is great because the jerk is just down there. So you might as well get this one out of the way and then leave Caitlyn to whatever.
Well, and at this point, I mean, yeah, it's a great thing to observe here. You can just go back east and pop in, get that rainbow drop, put down the bridge now if he wants to, and then pretty much you know that the only thing left is to go find Caitlyn, get those coordinates, so you get your armor. And again, we have that unequal amount of information here. Both players now pretty much just down to finding that one town they're missing. Juef tried to damage race a Red Dragon. Does not quite get it. That is very unfortunate.
Seeing this is not good on Vennicus' side, because I think he's been through this entire area already and found that there was nothing over here. So I think he's repeating some exploration. Or it's possible he died before checking a couple of corners. So don't quote me on that.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Williams, people are talking a little bit about the reverse count. Not sure if it's going to be particularly useful here. But we are very much going to need that princess again. Can't go far enough north from start. to find the item. No real landmarks to note, so gonna need to use that Whalen positioning system on the second continent at some point. Juef not in a big hurry to do so just yet, though.
And Juef going directly to Gurinham, so he's going to find that sword in just a moment. Although that isn't what he's aiming to do. Unless he changes direction here, which he might. No, wait, it is this direction, isn't it? So, yeah. It's the chords are taking him to Gurinham.
Yeah, this is pretty convenient. He is on his way in any event here, and once he enters Gurinham, he's going to have all the knowledge he needs. He is going to be in no mode, and that's pretty much going to give him the lead here. He's got that heal more, and we'll just need to potentially settle in for a grind to get that last bit of HP. Vennicus right there on the cusp. Could potentially win at 14. We'll have to see how comfortable they are with that decision.
And the metal slime that people were requesting earlier, Vennicus does a nice fat 8 damage to it. I have a feeling, I don't know, I don't think he's going to feel comfortable at 94 hit points. It's very rare that you see newer players do anything lower than that absolute, 96, 97 value that kind of gets put into your heads. But I don't know. I keep saying newer players, and he has been around for a little while now, so I might be misjudging this.
Chat noting that 88 HP might be enough. 94 might even be too much. I'm curious about the logic behind that. I am definitely one of those players that feels very uncomfortable at anything below 96.
Well, I would say right now, with 144 attack power, you're looking at 10 rounds. You have 14 heal more, so you can burn 6. So if you throw down the 48, you can lose a heal more and not feel too bad about it. I don't know. I like the odds. It would really just depend on how Sharlock feels. With low hit points, it's going to be difficult to damage Race too much. But Juef finding the armor, and now all he needs is to turn in the stuff, and he's good to go. Well, add in a few hit points.
Absolutely, yeah. Just needs to check off those boxes and then decide where it is that he wants to grind. The Axe Knights they're looking pretty nice. Although with the attack power being what it is, especially having that Silver Shield in his back pocket, I mean, he's defense breaking everything save for Axe Knight, Snowman, Blue Dragon, and our red friends. So could even fight his way down. We'll have to see.
And Vennicus, so close to where Cantlin is right now. Is he going to be able to walk over to it? Is he going to find it? Juef, on the other hand, is right back to that Axe Knight. He's going to finish that one off and probably go straight into the Dragon Lord once he's done. With the amount of extra MP he has, probably going to throw out repels. I don't think he bought a bunch of fairy water. And I don't know. Breck isn't that close. Cantlin is not too far away. Well, Cantlin's actually kind of sort of close to Sharlock, so maybe he goes that way.
Could potentially go that way. However, Jake Hooper, that was my exact reaction. Vennicus, thinking that he had explored the entire second continent, went ahead and hit the return. And I don't know exactly where Cantlin is in relation to Sharlock. I think it just might have been a little bit due east, and Vennicus just missing it. So again, just bleeding away more time. It's so unfortunate. It's so easy to get overwhelmed with weird maps like this.
Yeah, you hate to see it. It's it's the sort of question that you're like, well, did you map? Did you mess up the map? Because like raising hand here, I mess up my maps constantly, and you end up just cutting off something that you didn't quite see or you thought you saw because you were rushing it, and it just hurts when you're missing one thing and kind of wandering around blindly for it. Now, the one advantage or the one scenario here that this might benefit him is if Juef gets heavy to go at 14 and that dive does not go well for him, whereas Vennicus picks up 15 and it has a decent amount of HP. And, well, you don't even need a decent amount, you just need a few points at this point to feel comfortable.
Exactly, and let's just note here that, again, for both of these runners being relatively new to the community, we are already seeing both of them take advantage of all the information that we have kind of gained and put out there, and the meta has kind of shaken itself in different directions over the last few years. So, you know, maybe a few mental mistakes here on Juef's side, forgetting that he didn't have another key left early on. Vennicus making, you know, unfortunately retracing his steps a little bit in the exploration game, but so many lessons to be learned after watching this VOD back, and as long as they take that information in stride, I think great things are going to happen for both of these players.
Right, and something that, at least since, I mean, I learned Dragon Warrior Randomizer about a year and a month ago, but what I've learned from this is that the manual that Archfield Monk wrote has been absolutely tremendous in condensing the knowledge and presenting it in a great way to make it easy to pick up this game. Anyone who wants to do this, I'd say do a couple of seeds, and if you like it, go read the manual. It's like 112 pages, but there's a lot of pictures.
I don't think I've seen that manual myself. I know Game Boy F9 had done a simple text manual at one point that was also very useful. It has a lot of like nitty-gritty information, you know, that any runner can use to get themselves into that advanced state. Yeah, we have to see now. Does Juef try to dive? Does he get his HP back and back for round 2?
I'm guessing he's going back in because that would be the only reason why you would fight that blue dragon there. That, or if he's just running on momentum. You know, it'd be great if that manual was like $2.99 on Kindle or something. It'd be like, oh, advertising, get Archfield some bucks for it. But no, it's free in the Discord. Join, go look at the training room hash, and have some fun. You get to learn interesting facts about poltergeists and why they are the stupidest enemy in the game.
Okay, wow, yeah, I'm taking a look at this thing for the first time myself. I'm going to go ahead and hype this document up. It's got a table of contents with links. This is an impressive amount of effort.
So is he now going for it? Punches through the... I think he's expecting to gain a level in some fashion, possibly diving along the way. Again, he's fighting stuff, but he's going, which is an interesting strat at 94 hit points, but when you have 144 attack power, you can punch through a lot of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to keep the hit points up, not lose too many heal mores along the way. Again, he has like 6 he can burn. And if he could blow 1 on just using repel, and that would make the walk a lot more comfy.
Yeah, that's one potential strategy, and the other strategy would be to forego if you're set to grind your way down, and you know, fighting this golems, clearly that's the choice that he's making. So he wants to try to get that level on the way down. 7,500, I believe, is the target. But you might want to forego the repel so that you can potentially beat up on some of the weaker enemies that may or may not be here. But I personally love this getting the level on the way down strategy. With this attack power, with the defense that he's got from having that silver shield, I really, really like this play.
Yeah, swinging through golems isn't terrible because of 2 things. 1, he's got so much strength, and golems have absolutely terrible agility, so their defense is pretty bad. And 2, they cannot dodge. So you can attack when you know you have enough juice to kill it, and there's no chance it won't, land. But yeah, you kind of wonder about the flute there just a little bit. Although the flute is slow.
Yeah, Tila noting that yeah, you don't really need to hold on to those herbs because you're just too powerful. I mean, really, Juef is coming down. You're just pretty much geared for bear, and again, not too far away from that level. One thing will be interesting to see if he does get the decent HP boost. If he does, then go ahead and cast Repel. Hasn't seen anything yet that he could be repelling. But we are in Zone 2 now, so whole new set of enemies to discover.
Yeah, Green Dragon is defense broke. Yeah, doesn't have the repel up. That isn't going to do anything. Like, these enemies are... He's just laughing as he just swings the sword at them and walks right by.
And Vennicus now, I mean, just right there on that screen with Mountain or the Grave and Sharlock, and just keeps getting thwarted in every possible fashion from finding the Cantlin and the coordinates. And here we go, Juef closing in on that last level. I mean, you get any amount of HP and you're feeling pretty comfortable at this point.
Like, he might make it there, get 0 HP, and not lose any resources at this rate. Now, the wizard... Well, you're still gonna swing because his defense broken, I guess, but I don't know. I see sleep, I get nervous.
Yeah, you always do get a little bit nervous. It does have that regular Dragon Breath in its back pocket, which would, I believe, actually be doing more damage than the physical attack. But for anyone who doesn't know, there is an interesting bug in the original Dragon Warrior game that also applies here, where the hero, if you are put to sleep, the maximum number of turns that you can sleep is 6. So we know, someone correct me if I'm wrong with the fire damage and having Erdrick's armor, but I believe it's mathematically impossible for him to die from a single sleep. And that HP is going to do it. This is going to be a pretty comfortable DL2 fight.
Yeah, even he still hasn't lost a heal more, so he's going in with enough hit points that he shouldn't have to double heal more, especially with the defense the way it is. And on average, about a 10-round fight, and he has 14 heal mores, so he has a 6 heal more gap. This is hard to see this going sideways as long as the menuing is on point.
One interesting thing to note, for anyone who was not here for the beginning of the race, we found the Death Necklace in the throne room, and Juef opted to sell it. And so, you know, we talk about, you know, you could potentially get 70 HP on a level and maybe want to throw that thing on. Definitely the right call in this case.
And there we are. I believe this is our spike enemy, the Green Dragon. I'm on record as saying I think Green Dragons, which is something that has been added in version 3.0, is a very fun grind because it always feels like there's something different you might be able to do on them. But here we go, Dragon Lord time. Will he hit? Will he tap B? Will we say no to the Dragon Lord? We are fools, and here we go.
So deal 1 here, you should make quick work of this. He is damage breaking and gets the physical, gets the stop spell, going to go right on to phase 2, not going to bother using any herbs, knows that he is in a comfortable position. This is an input error lock, and we are going to go ahead and start off with a 13, right towards the bottom of the range there.
Yeah, I think his minimum roll at this point is 11, and if he only rolled min rolls, that's something like 15-round fight, and he still has 14 heal more, so...
Oh boy, rolling pretty much 13, 13, 11, so I mean, yeah, I want to say it's, as you say, it's probably a 1% chance, maybe even a fraction of a percent that he loses this fight. Again, menu errors notwithstanding, but you don't want to see rolls like that in any event.
Well, if you're going to get those rolls, you might as well get it in this fight and not a different one.
Absolutely. And I want to say I missed a hit there. I saw a 19, and there's a 16, so we haven't seen that 22 at the high end of it now, but I believe we're somewhere in the realm of 70 to 80 damage. There's a 20. We're looking pretty cozy now. Juef should be cruising to victory. And yeah, up to NG noting in chat that if it was the armor in Garinham as opposed to the sword, I mean, yeah, Vennicus could be going on even a broadsword, and the Death Necklace he still has. Well, he can't use the Death Necklace yet, but even a broadsword at this power might even be enough.
Alright, I'm not counting, I don't know if anyone is counting, but there it is. The final hit 5 rounds left on top, but he gets through. Dragonlord is defeated, and get your GGs ready for Juef, who'll be finishing first place in this race.
Absolutely, just needs to hit that return spell, go talk to the king, get through that princess dialogue, and there we go. It is official. Juef has finished in first place with a time, an official race.time.gg time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 15 seconds. Congratulations to Juef jumping ahead with a 2-0 record. We did have one race that was played offline. And Vennicus forfeiting immediately does probably a little bit frustrated with the fact that he never found Caitlin. But again, I do want to say before we get those runners in the chat, this was a fantastic race. Great showing from both of our runners. And neither of them should be ashamed of their efforts at all. Again, as I said probably about 10 or 20 minutes ago, so much information, so much to be learned from watching this race back. And I feel really good about both of our runners moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just the inability to find Caitlin is what really held Vennicus back here. But otherwise, they were kind of bouncing back and forth, and we didn't really have a good feel about any sort of lead until Juef had taken out Hawksness. And once we saw the coordinates, we're going to take him to Grinham to figure out where that sword was on his way to picking up armor. Then, that was when there was an obvious difference. But it was so tight throughout, and I think even Vennicus just jumped off such a quick start because he just was the dedicated grind, and it did some work for a while.
Absolutely. And with that ding, we do have Vennicus joining us here in the commentary booth. Vennicus, an unfortunate ending here, but a very strong showing at the beginning. Do you want to go ahead and walk us through some of the decisions you made there at the beginning of that seed?
Well, we started off with enough power to really slowly chunk away at like the zone. I guess it wouldn't be zone 0, but zone 1 enemies there to get a really early level. I really liked the patch of sand that was north there with the Wyvern and the Wraith. Like that gave some really early boost to the levels there, and I really liked my early exploration. It just apparently Caitlin eluded me there for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. This map was it was an odd one. I even was having a bit of a tough time trying to follow along. We may have to get Juef to confirm where exactly Caitlin was. I want to say it might have been east of Charlock, but again, not terribly sure. One thing, Ben, I guess I'm curious about, you mentioned you really liked that patch of sand earlier. We saw you go back to that a few times. I want to say you went back to that around level 10 or 11. Once you already had the sword, were you just looking for heal more at that point, or something else?
Yeah, I was looking for something to really deal with the amount of red dragons that we had. So everywhere I walked, it seemed like I had red dragons, so I just wanted somewhere to do it because I knew we had enough power to fight them. It just we needed the way to recover to just really deal with it. Cause like we got 130 power super early, like level 12 or something like that with the sword. So I knew they weren't really too much of a problem, but just the overworld exploration was just kind of beating me up.
And that was an advantage that you definitely had early on, Vennicus, is you found Grinham fairly early compared to Juef, who I believe found it with the coordinates. The armor was actually just a few spots northwest of Grinham, but that sword had you killing red dragons without Healmore at like 70-some hit points. It was great to see.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. There's Caitlin now that I'm doing it off to the side. Yeah, for some reason I just didn't even see that little like way down to it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because there was a lot of back and forth here in terms of information found. You found the sword. You found Grinham the sword before Juef did. Juef found the armor first. It was really unclear who was ahead for quite a bit of that seed. Now with Juef here in the commentary booth, I do want to turn things over to you. At one point, well, actually, let's go back to the beginning of the seed here. You found Tablet Cave first, had absolutely no problem diving your way through that in the dark. Do you want to run through some of the beginning of that seed for me and how you felt about it? I think you're muted, unfortunately.
If you can't hear us, make sure that it is on push to talk. I think that by default that's disabled in here.
Okay, I think I got it. You hearing me now?
Yes, there we go. Now we hear you.
Okay, so I was just saying, well, first of all, GG Vennicus, it was a nice race.
Yeah, GG's. Just unfortunately, brain did not see that gap there by the swamp exit going to the second continent. So oops.
Yeah, things like that happen. You were asking me about the beginning of the seed with the tablet cave. Well, honestly, I'd rather not talk about tablet cave because I must have gone over the bunk limit in the cave.
And still, though, one of the things we were talking about in up here in the commentary booth is that it can be a little bit scary going through there, early on without a light source, or the outside spell is if you get stuck, you're gonna have to hit that reset button. So, in any event, you did find that fairy water, so kudos to you on that. From there, one question that I have for you is. When you found those coordinates, did you maybe have a sense of potentially counting them out, or were you just pretty much, I need to go find this princess?
Oh, I was pretty sure I needed the princess because the north of Tentacle was. I explored it relatively early and saw that there was nothing there, so I thought it must have been on the other continent, and then there was no way I counted that in any other way than with the GPS.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as I mentioned before, there was a bit of information mismatch here, as some people found things before others. If I remember correctly, I want to say you found keys first. Vennicus found the sword first. You found the armor first, and then we were kind of wondering. I mean, it basically came down to Juef, you needing to find Garenham for the sword in that turn-in, and Vennicus needed to find Caitlin. And so I'm curious. When you did go looking for that armor and using the princess. That pretty much led you right to the sword, and so we weren't sure whether or not you're prioritizing Garenham at that point. It did just kind of work out, but I am curious about your thought process there.
Well, I was honestly mostly interested in finding the armor because there was so much swamp on the first continent I had not explored, and I thought it would make it much easier with the armor. But at that point, I explored. I had found everything except Garenham and the Staff of Rain cave, so I knew I absolutely needed to find it. So I just went and searched for it. It just happened that the coordinates and Garenham and the sword and the armor were bunched together.
Yeah, so those things worked out pretty well for you there. I guess the last thing that I kind of want to talk about is the grind at the end, because the HP was lacking for most of the seed, and then right there on 14, you had 94 max HP, and there was a lot of debate and chat about some of the veterans are comfortable with. Some people are saying like even 88 HP or 91, 92, 93, something around there. I personally don't like to go anything less than 90, 96, 97. So Juef, out of curiosity, I like the choice to fight everything on the way down just because of the ridiculous stats that you had. But just for sake of argument, let's say you get 1 or 0 HP. Do you still go for it? Do you back out? Or what would your thought process have been in that instance?
Oh, I was definitely going to try anyway. I thought about the possibility of having a full MTI level with the 0 everything, but I had the silver shield. My stats were great as you mentioned, so even if I didn't get a swing every single heal more, I had the MP for it. I don't remember how much MP I had left by the end of the fight, but I'm pretty sure I had a few spare, so I would definitely have tried it.
Absolutely. Alrighty, and with that, I think I've exhausted all the questions I have for the runners. Aaron, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Nothing directly off the top of my head. I am curious to see when both of you have your next races scheduled. I know there's still a whole lot of stuff up in the air, but in case anybody in chat wants to catch you, if you have a time or a person in mind.
Yes, Juef, have you scheduled your next match yet?
Not officially, but I need to check my Discord notifications. I may have something tonight around 9 or 10, but it's not official yet.
Oh, potential doubleheader here for Vennicus. Have you looked at your next match yet?
Not yet. I know some of them have a little bit of tight windows for availability, like Smashy and Velu have low availability, so I know if anything I'll probably play Velu on the weekend. But I will try to fit Smashy in as soon as I can, so probably in the next day or two I'll see if I can't get one going with them.
Excellent. So, so much action to look forward to. I imagine we're going to be having matches going on all day today and for the foreseeable future. With that, Juef, just overall thoughts on the seed. Anything else that you might want to add here before we wrap things up?
I just really want to thank you, everyone, for the wrist streams and for the tournament in general. It's a great time. I was very much looking forward to it, and so far it's very much living up to the expectations. So thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Lefkian. Thank you, Archfield Monk, and everyone else.
Absolutely. And Vennicus, any last thoughts from you?
Well, Juef kind of said it all there, and all I gotta say is dragons. Dragons everywhere.
Yes, there were a lot of dragons to go around. And sometimes they took you out and sometimes you took them out, a little bit of back and forth there. But with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up here for this particular broadcast. And so please, if you have not done so yet, drop a follow on both of our runners, twitch.tv/Juef, twitch.tv/Vennicus. They put on a wonderful show for you here. This is my first time commentating a race this season. This was fantastic. I highly recommend that both of you go back and watch this VOD. There's going to be plenty of things to learn, plenty of things that you can put in your back pocket for that next race. Please drop a follow on everybody who's been working so hard here behind the scenes. Archfield Monk doing the restream, Schmike W and Alex Grab pushing the buttons on the tracker, and of course myself and Aaron Tutu doing the commentary. And of course, as always, if you out there in the audience have not yet joined the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord, we will have a link for that in the chat. You could be the next Vennicus, you could be the next Juef, up here in the commentary booth with us, having all sorts of fun. All you got to do is jump into that Discord, and we have so many people who are always willing to help you out. We've got instructions galore. Races are going to be happening pretty regularly, so all you got to do is pop right into that Discord, and we will get you all set up. But until then, until our next broadcast, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night, and we are going to send you over to Ziggy7Z, who is playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And until then, have a wonderful night, and stay safe, everybody.
Peace.